Meanwhile, on Krakoa, Destiny and Rogue talk of manners from the future.
Trust me, Rogue. Mutantum dies with Manifold. Your story and his have bisected perfectly. They always have, and they always will.
Well, then we must tell the X-Men, sugar.
Will they understand what must be done for the greater good?
I'm not even sure I do, Irene. Nothing you say fucking ever makes sense. I mean, listen, you're the fucking fortune teller, so just tell it.
I see kings clashing in white, black after the death of the Red Queen. I see a Jovian bolt from the heavens. I see the stars ripped in half. I hear the poisoning lies of the false captain, his rank. And the fool who speaks the truth will pay the price.
Ma, I don't know what any of that means. Can you talk something that makes more sense?
There's more.
Okay.
There's more.
All right.
The sign says, stay away, fools, because love rules. Tin roof, rusted.
Mama, is that the fucking B-52? That's Love Shack.
Another vision.
Oh, no.
And
Okay.
I see a white room with black curtains
All right, that's
near the
Cream with
station.
Eric
Black
Clapton.
Roof Country.
Jesus Christ.
Another
Okay.
vision. It's about us, all of us. We all live in a yellow submarine.
Okay, now we're doing the Beatles?
And all of our friends are on board.
Oh, my goodness. Stop it with the music
shit.
lyrics.
Shit, I'm so sorry. My iPod was on shuffle.
Bitch. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 265 of CBQ Legacy. That's Comic Book Queers. I'm your host, EvilJeff, and with us, as always, is Brett.
Hey, girl.
What's going on?
Oh, you know me, just doing a podcast, talking about X-Men, talking about movies and TV.
Wow, that's amazing.
What about you?
I think I'm doing the same thing. I'm also going to be talking about X-Men and talking about movies and talking about TV.
Well, let's do it together.
Oh, awesome. Is there any hot topics that we should discuss?
Yes, there's one. Hit that music.
We got some hot topics. Yeah. Hot topics. Oh, wait, don't do that song anymore. It's a different song.
So I've got tea, girl.
Okay. You have testosterone? Oh.
No, meth.
Oh, shit.
No, I got tea that I'm about to spill. If you've been online, you've probably seen that. It looks like the winner, this is X-Men news. It looks like the winner of the X-Men vote, the final member of the third lineup of the X-Men, has been inadvertently revealed by Marvel themselves.
Oh my God. they had these out forever. I voted for Dazzler, of course. It was Cannonball, Dazzler, Frenzy, Jubilee, Juggernaut, Prodigy. I voted for Dazzler.
Right. I'm sure I did too. Who remembers, honestly? I forgot that it was even a thing.
It was so long ago.
But there was a preview of a cover, the Hellfire Gala cover. And Jerry Duggan said, haha, little does everyone know that underneath this seal, there was like a seal that said the Hellfire Gala. It was like, picture like a sticker on top of the cover of the comic book. Underneath that seal, that Hellfire Gala seal, is the character who won the X-Men vote. That same splash page was then it was used as like a ghosted image in preview art in the back cover, and you could see who the character is that would have been in that spot.
I remember looking at that, but I didn't pay attention. Who was it?
And honestly, it's the character that if you really thought about it for like a second, you knew they were going to win.
Who?
The Juggernaut.
Ugh, boring. That's the most boring one.
The most boring one. But I mean,
because Prodigy, you have bisexual king. Jubilee, I mean, you have like all the like fun Generation X references. Frenzy, you get a hot black woman.
Actual woman of color.
Cannonball, he keeps on saying that he's nigh invulnerable. Juggernaut, what does Juggernaut bring to the table?
Nothing. He's not even
Nothing.
a mutant. Not even a mutant. Why was he even part of it? I am enraged. I don't care.
I'm sure when that issue comes out, I'm sure we're going to hear from Dazzler in person about what she thinks of it.
We damn well better. And Juggernaut is a big Dazzler fan. Let's not forget that. Those two, that run when Dazzler, Longshot, and Psylocke go to Myrrh Island to train as X-Men because Colossus, Kitty Pryde, and Nightcrawler were injured from Mutant Massacre. Rogue was there to help train them. That's one of the first X-Men comics that I fully read, and I was like invested. And like invested.
I was like,
she
I
said,
need to
get
read these from
bent,
now on.
Rogue. Remember when Dazzler said, get bent?
Yeah.
I gagged. I didn't even know what gagging was at the time.
And Juggernaut was such a fan, but then he accidentally killed her. He thought he killed her. Luckily, he just buried her under a bunch of rocks so that she wasn't fully, she wasn't buried alive.
What an idiot. Like, she just passed out, right? And he was like, oh my God, she's dead. And he buries her.
But luckily, she was like, the rumblings of the river, the tickles of the birds tweeting, the sound is making me stronger.
She's like a sound battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any other news?
No, just that I'm surprised that people don't hook Dazzler up to like big machines more. Like villains. Wouldn't you think like a lot of villains would have big machines that they would want Dazzler to power that? Like, I don't know.
But she just turns it into light. Could the light then be used to be turned into other energy?
Yeah. Right?
Well, Dazzler was once... the closest is when Mystique had her put into a coma and hooked up to machines comatose because she took her personality when she was working under S.H.I.E.L.D.
And she took mutant growth hormone out of her.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then Dazzler was so fucked up, she turned all goth for a hot minute.
She turned all goth for like a second, and then she joined A-Force.
Where they expanded on the fact that she can resurrect.
And then never brought it up again.
And they still don't. I think it's such an interesting thing to bring up when Resurrection's probably going to be off the table shortly.
Yeah, and I'm looking at you, Spiral, Spill, because I know you're behind it.
Oh, Spiral, Destiny, Dazzler, and a sword through a Destiny mask. Those were the times. That was the real stories. And I'm going to bring this up.
The real stories.
I'm going to bring this up later because I'm going to tell you, when we talk about movies, I watched a bunch of old superhero movies, and it really made me realize how growing up with X-Men comics where the women are the most powerful. Yeah. It really made me very disappointed how all comics were just about a damsel in distress. And it really started to annoy me after a while.
That's why Princess Leia hit when she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I say hit on her brother, because she made out with her twin brother.
Oh.
I think that's it. Maybe we should just go right into the X-Men.
Let's talk about the X-Men comics of the last week. Hit it.
I was reading X-Men comics in a cocktail bar. That much is true. Yeah.
We have 2 X-Men comics. Which one should we... We have X-Men and then Before the Fall, the Sinister Four. Which one should we talk about first?
Why don't we talk about X-Men because that's what we based our opening scene on.
Yes.
I don't know. That's a reason.
Okay. I thought you were going to give some huge in-depth reason.
No, because if you notice in that scene, I'm not doing the director's commentary.
Okay.
Of our opening.
Okay. We got the beginning with Cable, which was very anticlimactic. He's like, I'm going to stop them. And he immediately gets captured.
Down by Moira and Omega Sentinel and Nimrod. Like, they just showed up.
But here's the thing. Didn't he know he was going up against Nimrod? And Moira
Yeah,
McTaggart?
I mean,
what was his plan?
Pretty cocky, right?
What was his plan? What a fucking idiot.
That's Kid Cable for you.
So they kidnap him, and then we cut to Destiny.
Stasis is there.
Stasis, yeah. And then he kind of brings up that they fucked with Magic and her teleporting powers.
Mm-hmm.
Was that happen before? What is that? Is that what happened later? What is that?
Yeah, when her powers fritz out.
Is that what, when we see that later, is that what he was doing to her?
Yep. And I think it's going to be bad. Like, I think that's going to lead to whatever attack is going to happen on Krakoa.
So, did you read into what Destiny's cryptic clues were?
So, first, before she does the cryptic clues, a few panels before the ones we acted out so brilliantly earlier, she says, there is a turncoat on the X-Men, a great betrayal that will turn the tide. It must happen so that we may make this weakness a strength. The X-Men will buckle under the weight of the war to come.
Is this the fake Captain Krakoa?
I don't know. Is it magic and her powers? Like, is magic gonna inadvertently betray?
Leaving the X-Men? Is it Cyclops being unhappy? What is?
Right.
Is it
right.
Forge? Is it Colossus?
Is it Forge? Forge has a moment.
Or is it Colossus because he is betraying?
Right.
Is this where Colossus finally comes through?
Is it Firestar for some reason? Oh, is it Talon, older X-23 because, you know, the Vault? Is it Darwin?
It's so many possibilities. Also, isn't Kitty Pryde the Red Queen?
Yes. So is the death of the Red Queen more metaphorical? Like, you know, she's going to become Shadowcat again.
I mean, you know what my mom calls the death of the Red Queen? Menopause.
Period?
Yeah, menopause.
Oh, off with its head.
Okay, I see a Jovian bolt from the heavens. I see the stars ripped in half.
A Jovian bolt is like Zeus's lightning, right?
Yeah.
I
hear
that's probably some like Orcus.
The fool who speaks
laser.
the truth will pay the price. What is that?
That feels like very the trope of like one person has caught on and like knows what's about to happen, but nobody will believe them, like Cassandra.
Huh.
Or Sidney Prescott in Scream 2.
Oh yeah, I guess we'll find out. I guess it's not like it's going to be that long. We're going to find out soon enough.
Yeah, I think Hellfire Gala is the end of this month, right?
Yeah.
Holla.
And then we have Pog or Pog.
Pog your
fight,
Pog.
Which is...
What I mean, just because you got to bring back Pog your Pog. That's the only reason it's Pog your Pog.
Which nothing that interesting is going on with it.
No.
But we do see Jean Grey and Cyclops have a convo. And Jean Grey is leaving the X-Men.
She is leaving the X-Men.
So Jean Grey, she left X-Force. She left the Council. Now she's leaving the X-Force. Jean Grey is a fucking quitter. What is her deal?
I don't know. There's something, I don't know. We don't know what's up with her.
And you think it's leading to her
brood fight?
You think it's leading to her getting her Phoenix powers back?
I do. So,
also, we also find out Cyclops has never been to Mars.
How about that? I actually found this very interesting. That Cyclops is like, I hate it about Arakko. I've always hated it.
Yeah.
And it's not about like Jean, she phrased it stupidly. She's like, you didn't see the planet I helped make. Like, it's not about that. Like, he's not proud of Arakko. He's proud of the treehouse, and that's obvious. But it's also obvious he's not proud of Arakko.
But he just feels like we just
big.
created a place that the humans are going to exile us to.
He said it's isolationism, mama. And we've always been about integrationism.
Well, sort of. I mean, I'm like, well, let's talk to Cyclops from Wolverine and the X-Men time. Yeah, you were kind of not on that page. So everybody's kind of flipping the scripts of ideologies.
He's like, we're even saying we don't belong here. We're even saying it. I don't know.
And then we have Polaris, who's like, Dad is dead, and she's all depressed.
I'm sorry. This was so iconic for me that Polaris said, I'm sorry I'm having a tough time. I'm sorry I'm like this. That just hit me. I loved it.
Well, you also have to remember, Polaris has a history of mental problems.
Mental illness, yeah.
Like she's hanging on by a thread.
I love that Jean was like, I have to go see our wounded friend. And she meant Polaris.
Yeah.
Like not somebody with like a physical injury. And she still referred to her as the wounded friend. I mean, yeah, like, say what you want about Jean. She's great. But what the hell?
And then we get to Sunfire and Magic, where they're going to go save the girl from Ten of Swords who got locked in Jarvis's Mad World Market.
Red Root. Because she's like the voice of Araco. She's like the Cypher.
Yeah.
The Douglas. She's important.
I will say this artist, I wish he did a better job of making Sunfire look Asian. He just looked like a white dude, especially in the end when it like cuts to the future where he's on Otherworld.
Yeah.
He just looks like some white, like it looks like
Kraven the Hunter,
and his hair's even brown. I'm just like, let's make him look Japanese. How about that? It's not that hard.
Yeah. Coloring, yeah. Oh, but she's so cute. Look at little Red Root like attached to his chest.
Very similar to. It reminds me a lot of Forgem and Caliban.
Yeah.
But it says that's going to be continued in X-Men Unlimited.
Which, by the way, I've been reading, girl. I've been reading it.
Can you help me out? Because there's
I've
so
read the
many...
whole Nature Girl shit, girl.
You need to tell me which issues, because I read the beginning of it, but then it went to Deadpool. Then it went to Wolverine.
You can just tell. You can tell by the covers. Like, that's what I did. I just looked at the thumbnail covers.
Because I just want to read the X-Men Green stuff. I don't want to read the Deadpool stuff. So I actually have it opened on my desktop, but I was like, ugh, this is boring. Which issues are it? Because there's like 70. So I'm like going through being like,
you have to look at the covers.
Yeah. Okay.
And then be like, oh, this is part 2. Okay, let me read the one before it. Okay, now
because I've read part 1 of Nature Girl's story.
She's batshit, yo. She's evil.
Yeah. She's fucking killing people.
Crazy.
She's killed someone because they like were selling plastic bags.
She's crazy. But there's a reason.
That she's crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, because she has an animal brain?
No, because that other character cursed
cursing her. Oh, no.
Yeah. And then Curse died trying to remove the curse.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I need to read that. That part's really fun. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. But then I read there's like a story about like a bunch of trans mutants with Jubilee. That was kind of fun. Like every once in a while there is like a fun little story. Right now it's Layla Miller and Jamie Madrox and their kid and the Fantastic Four. That's the story right now.
Isn't Strong Guy in that too?
I don't know.
I saw one where it was Madrox and Strong Guy were in an Unlimited one. I'll have to go through it. Yeah.
There was another Unlimited one that was all about Marrow and Feral, and guess what? Lesbians!
I couldn't give a fuck. I hate both of those characters.
Well, they're happily coupled.
They're happily scissoring.
That's right.
All right. Let's go into Sinister Four.
Let's do it. Before the fall, Sinister Four. Really just 2?
So we found out in a previous X-Men issue that the 4th Sinister, which they keep talking about clones, but she's not a clone of Sinister. She's a clone of Rebecca, Sinister's ex. And I thought it was her body, but she still had the memories of Sinister. But it seems like she has the memories of Rebecca.
She's Rebecca.
So I find that interesting. And so it looks like it's just the old Nathaniel X. He ended up dying, but he made the 4 Sinisters. And so he wanted Mr. Sinister, the faggot, to go after to study the X-Men.
Faggot, the mutant faggot.
Orbis Stellaris is studying the cosmos.
Like space. Yeah.
Rebecca's studying magic. And then Dr. Stasis is studying post-humanity.
Machinery. Technology. Yeah.
To kind of like conquer it all. And we know that a Sinister becomes a Dominion. Does that not count Rebecca?
Do we know a Sinister becomes a Dominion?
Or is it just one of the clones? I felt like it was saying like is it just one of the clones becomes it? Or is it one of the Nathaniel Essex clones? Does that automatically, we know it's not Sinister. We don't know who it is. I mean, it seems obvious that it could be Orbis Stellaris.
It could be Douglas Ramsey for all we know.
But doesn't it need to be a Sinister person?
Does it?
I thought it was
Maybe.
like a Sinister does.
It was like a thing only they could do.
I thought it was like a Sinister does become Dominion, but it's not you.
Not you. We'll see.
Well, I guess we shall see. But basically, Dr. Stasis is still got a hard-on boner for Mother Righteous.
Yes.
And she's like, hey, we're different people now. We've lived, like they've lived a longer life without each other. And
admittedly, this Sinister, the club Sinister, Dr. Stasis, he seems to be the closest to the original Nathaniel Essex.
And it's in his name. Dr. Stasis. His whole thing is he wants to keep everything the same, which is why he kept recreating his family, trying to recreate her. He wants to bring his marriage back, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But know what else he brought back? 19th century misogyny.
Oh, sure.
Because because he's also doing a bit of a crisscross double cross, because he's like, but she's my wife, and so she, I'm doing everything for her, but I'm not doing everything she wants because she needs to obey. I'm like, gross.
She needs to remember her place. I'm like, ugh. Even you know who would be so disgusted by that? Our good old Diamond Head Mr. Sinister.
Yeah. And here's the thing is Club Sinister, they were basically telling each other their stories. And then they were kind of like, oh, I didn't realize that there was another Sinister until 10 years ago, Mother Righteous said. And Stasis was like, oh, I've known forever. And then she's like, well, I've known about Orbis Stellaris. And he's like, what, who?
And he's like, who?
But then it turns out he's like, oh, I've been keeping that. She didn't suspect a thing. I'm like, I think she knows.
So he knows Orbis Stellaris.
It's basically that episode of Friends. It's like, they don't know. We know. Like, it's that thing. Like, she knows.
2 + 1 + 2 + 1.
Yeah. Like, she's like pretending she doesn't know, but she knows. Like, it's all double crosses, and I'm here for it. I'm living for it. I love it.
But how about what I'm kind of not here for, but I don't care, it's fine, is we've been characters in the Marvel Universe all along. Dr. Stasis being there for Captain America's origin, for Dr. Banner's origin, for Peter Parker's origin. Mother Righteous being there for Apocalypse with Billy and Tommy, like with Belasco. Like, okay, we're validating these characters. We get it.
I did not mind that. That bothered you?
No, it didn't bother me. I think it elicited a little bit of an eye roll, but I understand that we need to give these villains heft.
Yeah.
For what's about to come.
Also, them being part of that doesn't change. It's not retconning or changing anything huge. It's just saying they had a little hand in it, which I think is kind of cute. But
it's a little Nikki and Paolo.
Yeah, but that means both of them are going to be buried alive.
That's right. Oh my God. And then, I don't know, they're like, oh, we're kind of in love, we're kind of not. Okay, let's go make us gravestone for our old family. I
know, creepy. Talk about a bad first date.
Creepy and like not hot.
But what about
took me right out of the mood.
But then there was this book, the book she gave him where it kind of says everything that's happening, the soul histories of everyone's souls or whatever, and a lot of stuff is blacked out. Did you have any thoughts on what's blacked out? Okay.
No, I don't know.
I bet we will find out.
We will find out, but then we also find out what Mother Righteous can do and what Mother Righteous did. So those little like balls of light that are like strung up like balloons around her, they're little forgotten gods, and she can use them to open portals into the underworld. Well, she could, like, I guess whatever they represented, because it was like a death god that she plucked off of herself and used to open a portal to the underworld. She gets into a fight with, the River Styx guy. And then she brings Selene back from the dead.
And Selene already showed up in Immortal X-Men,
so this is
right?
How this is how she got Selene back. And are you serious? She goes, kiss for the entertainment of eternal Selene.
Do you think there was any when they were like, what would you have named your daughter? And she said Morgan, and then there's Morgan Le Fay. Was there anything with that? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I was like, why Morgan? Should I have a reaction? Kiss. Kiss for the entertainment of eternal Celine. Kiss.
Anyway, I'm digging the Sinister Four. I think they're some of the funnest. I think they're some of the funnest
fun,
villains.
They're weird.
After a while.
They're dangerous. They're scary. They're threatening.
But that's the other thing is Colossus is working with getting Celine. He helped get Celine on there. So is Mikhail, his brother, is he part of Orcus? I can't remember.
I think he's just interested in their downfall as well.
Okay.
But maybe Orcus is reaching out to everybody.
And then we have Orbis Stellaris is in cahoots with Dr. Stasis. I also am interested, I think what a lot of this is going to lead to, which is so funny. I'm wondering if any of this, and I kind of want this, and I know I wonder, you might hate this idea.
No.
I think all this is leading to a redemption arc for Mr. Sinister. Not a full redemption arc, but I think after him seeing a whole future where him being evil just led to everything being horrible, I think he's in the pit now being like, yeah, none of that worked.
You think he got Ebenezer Scrooged?
I'm wondering. And I think they might have to rely on Mr. Sinister to fight Orbis Stellaris and Mother Righteous and Dr. Stasis.
Thank you, spirits.
And who's going to win? Always bet on the faggot.
Always bet on the faggot. We fight dirty bitch. We've had to fight our whole lives.
Yes. All right.
He's so gay. He made a gaggle of naked Scott Summerses to have sex with. I am that gay as well, but I don't have the means.
Speaking of having sex with people, I think that might segue into a movie I want to talk about.
Let's talk about it. Hit the music.
I always feel like I'm watching a comic movie or TV.
Ooh, I saw some movies.
We're talking about movies and TV shows.
That's right.
Related to the genre, of course.
I saw the movie Joyride.
Joyride. I want to see that.
It's super fun.
I love Ashley Park.
Yes, she's great. And Stephanie Sue, Oscar nominee, Sherry Cola, who I watched in what's it called? It was I can't remember, but it was basically one of those TV shows with a bunch of like LA kids living in downtown LA trying to make it, and she played like a lesbian.
Okay.
And then so the fourth one is Sabrina Wu, who was a stand-up. And she kind of was the breakout star for me. She was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this movie, I liked it. This movie is sold on how good the cast is and their chemistry. I felt it was a little short on the jokes. I wanted a little more, like the parts that were funny, I laughed out loud and it was great.
Yeah.
But then there was just a lot of then like, oh, let's talk about our trauma and stuff. And I'm like, I'll get back to like...
Yeah, no, give me a joke a minute.
Go back to sticking drugs up your pussy. Like, it went from... it was really, really, really raunchy. And I love that. There's also a scene where all of them, they meet up with a Chinese basketball team. And they all just like fuck different people. Oh my God.
And the guys are so hot.
Ashley Park has a threesome with Chris Pang, who I believe he was the friend in Crazy Rich Asians. And then there's an Indian guy who doesn't speak English. And she fucking has a threesome with them. They're so hot. And then Alexander Hodge, he was on Insecure as one of the characters' boyfriends. He's so hot. And then there's a guy named Desmond, I don't know how to say his last name, Chiam. He's in a TV show right now called With Love that stars Vincent Rodriguez, Josh Chan from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yes.
And he's topless all the time. And this guy,
so cute.
Insane. First of all, Josh Chan from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, his body is out of control right now. Like right now, his body it's out of control, insane hot.
Right now?
Yes. Like if you I follow him on TikTok. Like follow him on TikTok and he's basically just topless doing dances. It's out of control. But this guy Desmond, who's in the movie as one of the love interests, he's in that show too, always topless. And in this movie, he's always topless. And the one thing I love about this movie is it's just, you know, like Porky's and all those old 80s movies where the girl with big tits comes in and it's like slow motion. And the guys are like, whoa. Ooh. It's all of that, but reversed with the girls and amazing. The guys just topless and their pecs bouncing and like, I loved it.
Love that.
Oh, and it also
finally
has, the guy, speaking of Lost, it has, what's his name from Lost?
Hurley, Sawyer, Jin, Jack.
Jin from Lost.
Nice. Daniel Day Kim.
Daniel Day Kim. Jesus Christ, how could I forget his name? Daniel Day Kim is in it. There's just a lot of sexiness. It's really fun. It's not like the best movie ever, but it's super cute and super funny. And I thought it was great. It's a fun time. So
fantastic.
Everyone go see it.
Yay. Hey, I saw The Flash.
All right. We can finally talk about it. What did you think?
I agree with you that it started out great and then it just got progressively more meh as it went.
I felt like they blew their wad. They needed to like get to it. If they just, I feel like they just ended it. They just shortened the ending, the second act. I think it wouldn't have lost the steam that it did.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely lost steam. Ezra Miller was fantastic. Ezra Miller carried it. Was so good. What a shame.
Yeah, bye Ezra Miller. They are done.
Michael Keaton, great to see. Whatever, it was great to see.
But they kept doing moments where it would just be like a zoom in on him, and then he would say a line from Batman.
I know, like he was like a walking catchphrase.
And you're like okay, we need that once, but the third time you're like, cut it out, stop it.
When he said, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts." Like it was I don't know. It was a provocation of the Joker. It wasn't like a catchphrase.
Yeah.
It was a provocation of the Joker in the exact context in which he said it.
Yeah.
Supergirl was great, fine.
But then she's dead and she doesn't exist.
And then right.
And then the ending spoiler.
The ending was hilarious.
Because Bruce
the twist
Wayne
at the end with Bruce Wayne
is George fucking Clooney. That was great.
That was great. Of course, like my mind got carried away because I heard there was a bunch of cameos. Little did I know it was just a rapid fire of CGI cameos at the end. I was like, oh, these are the cameos?
Yeah.
Like I really thought we were going to get like Michelle Pfeiffer, Selena Kyle, or like Chris O'Donnell Robin.
Half of the people are dead. You can't do Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, I didn't know it was him. And Helen Slater and Nick Cage Superman. Oh my God, Tim Burton Superman.
Yeah.
So good. I mean, like, it was fun. It wasn't so good. It was fun, but it started really strong and really enjoyable. And him as the 30-year-old, him as the 18-year-old. I'm sorry, them as the 30-year-old, them as the 18-year-old. It's great.
Well, you're talking about the character, so you can say he.
Yes. Barry. It was great.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but it flopped. And I
think the reason it flopped is Ezra. And it's like the last huffs and puffs of a bygone era.
And I think that's the thing with these movies, the marketing has to be long and clever. And I think that's where it's like this Barbie movie is going to be a huge hit because they've been marketing it for a year and everyone is just dying to see it.
All the cross promotions.
Yeah, no one was dying to see The Flash. People don't realize how much right now, if you aren't on a huge marketing campaign, no one is going to see your shit because it's not like the world where you're like, there's nothing to do. I can either watch a movie or I can watch ABC, CBS, or NBC. We do not live in that world anymore. There is a million places for people to watch stuff. So unless you are going on everything of social media to catch someone's attention, people aren't just going to pay attention to it.
You have to make it an event.
Which I know very well because I have a lot of difficulty having people watch my shows on WoW Presents Plus. Please watch Why Are Humans
subscribe.
On WoW Presents Plus.
Please watch Why Are Humans.
I mean, people like, does anybody know I made an entire animated series? No.
Hello?
Because I don't have $1 million marketing campaign. Anyway.
But you have a dedicated audience. And you're
do.
telling them about it now.
I do. Except sometimes that dedicated audience, they only like me doing, did I tell you that where I had a follower on my Instagram wrote where I was like, here's my new animated show, watch it. And he goes, this is the worst piece of shit. Stop doing other things that you want to do and just do following me.
Fuck you.
Commenting that, where I would read it on my personal Instagram.
Oh my God.
Where I'm like, oh, okay. Thanks.
The internet was a mistake.
Thanks for ruining my day.
Thanks, ass. Don't read.
I love how it's just like, stop trying to be creative. Stop trying to satisfy your inner soul.
I like only the things I like.
Yeah. Although, but then
no tolerance.
And
for
I'll tell you
anything
this,
else.
I feel the same way. Bjork is like, I'm doing a new album about this, and I'm like, no, bitch, just do your.
Shut up, bitch.
Do the old stuff with the violins. PJ Harvey,
Yes.
who I love, is like, I really want to explore and make an album that sounds different from it. No, make it sound just like all of the good albums. But you know what I don't do? I don't go on their Instagram accounts and say that to them.
You're right.
Keep it to yourself.
Oh, people today, they love to do that.
Anyway, Flash.
They love to tag a comic book creator and be like, this sucks at.
Yeah, I mean,
Matthew
although,
Rosenberg.
technically we are, because technically we will say not nice things about comics.
But we're not like,
But
we
we're
don't
not-
call fucking.
We're not tweeting out being like, hey, at this writer, we trashed your work. Go look
We're
it
not
up.
like, let's call Ann Nocenti right now and tell her what a stupid hack she is.
Yeah.
I don't think Ann Nocenti is a stupid hack.
No, of course not. She's an American treasure. What other movies? Is there any other movies?
Have you been watching the new Black Mirror at all?
I have not.
I recommend.
Here's the deal.
There's 5 episodes, 6 episodes. This
My
season?
problem with Black Mirror is watching a movie where it's like, we're going to imagine a world where technology has made everything awful. It works when the world is kind of fun and cool, but when the world is horrible and awful, it's kind of like, no, this is kind of how it is.
Oh God!
You know what I
just
mean?
Watch Hang the DJ.
No, it's
Just watch San Junipero.
No, that's what I'm saying. I like more San Junipero stuff, and a lot of times they were just getting too depressing for me.
Well, you're not getting that this season.
How is it? I heard Jonah's Awful is good.
Jonah's Awful is incredible. It's incredible. It's so engaging from the start. And Annie Murphy is so good. And I have to hand it to, I've only seen the first 2 episodes of this season, this new one of Black Mirror. The twists and like changes in direction of these first 2 episodes.
Oh, wait a minute.
Incredible.
I did watch one.
Which one?
I watched the murder mystery Irish. Was it
Loch
Irish?
Henry?
Scottish. I watched that one.
Oh my God. Why didn't you tell me? I watched that one too.
I forgot it because I didn't think it was that good.
Oh my God. It was crazy.
I know what it was. I guessed who the killer was like immediately.
Oh my God. I screamed.
Oh no, I guessed it. I was disappointed. And I remember.
Oh my God. It was so weird when she came in like, woo. I was like, what is happening?
No, it was one of those ones where, I mean, we're giving shit away, but we spoil everything, so be warned. But it was basically, they kept cutting to the guy who's the gay guy from 4 Weddings and a Funeral. And it was like, I think it was one of Joe and his brother, and they're like, oh, I guess he's the killer. And then I'm like, oh, they're concentrating on him too much. It's probably the mom. And then the mom shows up, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jesus Christ. She went, woo. Oh, no. Yeah, watch Jonah's Awful. It's fantastic.
Okay.
What's your, like, I don't know how heavy into Black Mirror you've been, but like, do you have like a favorite? Is it San Junipero?
San Junipero is on a completely other level. I really love the Star Trek one.
Oh, SS Callister, yeah.
SS Callister, and then pretty much everything else I did not really like that much.
Okay. I'm a big fan of Hang the DJ, the one where the couple realizes at the end that they're like one simulation in a dating app.
Yeah, I did not like that.
I love that one. I love it. And I love the Be Right Back, the Haley Altwell.
The which one?
Haley Otwell, when her boyfriend gets in the car accident and she gets the android version of him.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, I loved it.
But there's ones that I hate, like the first one where the president, like the prime minister has to fuck a pig.
But that's like it's like the premise for the whole show. Ugh. I actually hated the Daniel Kaluuya one.
Oh yeah, because those are depressing.
Because it was so depressing.
Oh, like what was the one where the girl's being chased around and tortured?
Oh, White Bear.
White Bear, and then it turns out she's like has her memory wiped every time, and she's like a pedophile. No, it's just not.
I love it.
Just too depressing for me.
Oh, I love it. You know what? This season, though, there's been a big shift in that it's not really, and you probably picked up on this when you watched Lock Henry. It's not about technology this season anymore. It's about content.
Right.
And so Joan is Awful it's about technology. It's more about content and like our relationship to content.
Content
is king. We're talking about content. You want to talk about Secret Invasion?
Yes.
What are you thinking? How are you feeling about this show so far? You're bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like even and they treat everything so anticlimactically. I mean, let's go through it. I mean, you know what I'm talking like fucking I mean, unless her human character comes back, Daenerys is dead. Okay.
No, she's not.
You don't think she's dead?
I guarantee you she's not dead.
Or do you think just the humans coming back? But she fucking
anytime somebody says, "Look me in the eye when you shoot me," it means they're wearing a vest. When he was like, "Turn around," she goes, "No, you're gonna look me in the eye." I was like, "Vest."
All right. Maybe that's why I felt anticlimactic.
Or she gave herself extremist powers.
Oh, is she a super Skrull?
Because she was sneaking around that lab.
Is she the first super Skrull?
Well, he's got it too. He demonstrated the extremist powers. Gravik, the villain.
Right. And so are these... Wait, what's the extremists?
It's the from Iron Man 3. It's where like the people could get really hot and really strong.
Oh, right. Who was the bad guy? Who was he? Who was the bad guy in that?
It was Guy Pearce.
Right. I want them to do... Because you know who the first super Skrull is. He can't, like his powers. He can stretch.
Fantastic Four.
He can turn invisible. He can turn to rocks, and he can turn to fire. I want that. Yeah,
but you're getting that. Don't you see?
Yeah.
It's so genius what they did. They're using Extremis for Human Torch, Groot for Mr. Fantastic, Cull Obsidian for The Thing, and the Frost Beast for the Invisible Woman. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be the same powers.
Oh, that is smart. Okay, that's the first thing I'll be like, I like that. I didn't put that together, but you're right. That's brilliant.
It's great. I, of course, love the show because I don't mind people talking. I don't mind people in dark rooms talking. And Sam Jackson, I think, is doing such a good job. Don Cheadle is doing such a good job. They're all doing such good jobs. The acting, the performing, it's good.
I'm still just... I was reading up on... I was like, who were the Skrulls in the comic book Secret Invasion? And that one, it was like...
There's a lot of them.
The head lady Skrull. What's the head lady Skrull's name? What's her name?
What was like Varunki?
But she became Spider-Woman.
Queen Varunki. She was Spider-Woman.
She became Spider-Woman. Jarvis
was
a fucking Skrull.
Yeah.
Mockingbird came back to life.
Mockingbird. Yeah.
It turned out Elektra was a Skrull.
Yep. She was the one that revealed the Secret Invasion when they found her.
Yes. So that's where it's like there was just all these twists and turns, and they're like, we don't know. It could be anyone. And I guess the other thing, it seems like these Skrulls are, they're acting like, and they're not. They're acting like they're stuck in that form. So there's a lot of times where they're like, just turn into another person.
Yeah, but I think they are getting stuck because they showed, like, I think there are Skrulls. But
what's his name? The head guy who's like friends with what's the main Skrull who's on the good?
Talos.
Talos keeps changing into different people.
Yeah, but these other Skrulls who are forced to like not change and just be the same person all the time and just be deep undercover, like they map their brain on one person. It feels like they're forgetting that they're Skrulls because that guy, he was like, don't kill my son. And he like did anything Nick Fury wanted because he had not your son, Skrull. Like that's not your son. But he was like, please don't hurt my son. So he had an emotional connection to that kid. Even though he's a Skrull. So I feel like they are.
I
like
forget too, because I remember I was like, wow, you just killed his dad. And then I'm like, oh, wait, that was the Skrull. His dad's still alive. Because they literally went to the thing to pull the information out of his head.
Yeah.
But is Samuel Jackson's, is Nick Fury, is his wife, which side is she on?
Oh, she's on Gravik's side, probably, but do you know whose voice that was on the phone at the end where he was like, she's like, I want to talk to Gravik. He's like, you're not talking to Gravik. You're talking to me now.
Who was it?
It was Don Cheadle.
Is he a Skrull then?
Yes.
See, get to this sooner. That's the juice. That's the juicy stuff.
It'll reveal next episode. If they gave it away by voice at the end of last episode, they'll give it away like visually. Okay,
see, that's interesting. I also liked, I liked that they subtly brought it up where she's like, you fucking left. I don't know. And you realize like, oh, they're not, even though they're married, they're not really on the same side, are they? Interesting.
Very interesting, especially, because he abandoned her.
Yeah.
Also, there's a theory going around that there are actually two Nick Furies walking around. There's the Nick Fury who wears the glasses and the Nick Fury who does not.
Oh, see, this all could be interesting.
Yeah, I think a lot of cool shit is going to come out. Yeah, and like if it is two Nick Furies, I've always said like Talos being like, my wife Soren died. Hey, Gaia, your mom, she's dead. I'm like, no, she's not. Like, really? Oh, she died. They killed her. No details, like nothing.
Yeah.
She's so alive.
But you think Maria's dead.
I think Maria's dead. But I think that Soren is probably the second Nick Fury walking around.
But here's the thing. You think Maria's dead. Who's the only person that saw her body?
Nick.
No, because he had to leave. It was fucking Don Cheadle was like, do you know what I had to do to get her body?
Oh.
And he's a Skrull?
They could have brought her back.
So we'll see.
And then mapped her. Yeah. Wow. Oh. I just really hope it gets crazy.
Yeah, better.
Come on, get crazy.
Speaking of, I want to talk about, I've been on a binge. For my work, I'm working and doing some movie parody stuff. So I've had to watch a bunch of movies and I had to watch Spider-Man. I'm doing like a movie parody Spider-Man thing for, spoilers for some drag queen stuff. And so I decided to watch all the Spider-Man movies, but that led down to a rabbit hole where me and Joe started watching the first Superman movie, the second Superman movie.
Oh my God.
We watched the first Batman movie.
Oh,
and then we watched all three Spider-Man movies and then the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie.
Oh my God, ew.
And Spider-Man, here's the plot of Spider-Man. Every plot of Spider-Man is, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I have a girl I really like. I think that girl should go and get up on a high building or a high bridge. Oh no, a bad guy blows something up and now she's dangling from that high building or that high bridge and I need to use my web powers to save her from falling to her death. Everybody is falling to their death throughout all the
Spider-Man
movies.
Should be called, oh no, she's dangling.
Yes, it's literally, oh no, I'm dangling. And
I'm dangling.
And when you watch it all back to back, you're like, oh wow, this is very repetitive. I will tell you this, the Superman, we forget what pacing is like. Clark Kent does not show up for like 45 fucking minutes.
In the original
like
Richard
Clark
Donner
Kent
Superman?
with the glasses as Christopher Reeves.
Amazing.
Christopher Reeves does not show up. No.
Because you're at Smallville for a long time.
No, and you're on fucking, what's his home planet
And you're
called?
on Krypton.
You're on Krypton.
It's blowing up.
Fucking Marlon
Brando's
Brando.
putting babies in rockets.
It's so long and drawn out. And I'm like, oh, they just made movies different back then. It's like.
They did.
you're so used to like get to the action.
No,
but even
you
in
gotta,
this,
you got to hear the president talk first.
Margot Kidder as fucking.
God, I love her
as fucking Lois Lane.
You have big shoes to fill, Rachel Brosnahan.
No,
you're no Margot Kidder.
She's terrible. And
no, she's not. She's great.
The actress is fine. The character.
Oh, Lois Lane in the original is terrible.
All she does.
Oh, she's so nosy.
Part 2, there's a nuclear bomb in the Eiffel Tower, which I'm like, I love that was written into a script anywhere. This is the most cheesiest thing ever. Nuclear bomb on the Eiffel Tower in the elevator. She says some bad French to a cop, sneaks past it, and gets into an elevator underneath the bomb to get the story.
Yep, to get the story,
and then her purse gets caught, and she can't get out, and she's stuck in the elevator. I was like, okay, let's see, what was your plan? She's an idiot.
To get the scoop.
She then thinks Clark Kent is Superman, so she jumps.
She jumps
into Niagara Falls. And Clark Kent refuses to change to Superman and just decides to let her drown. This movie is wild.
It's wild. Doesn't he I-beams like a piece of wood so that she can grab it?
But here's the thing. It also just shows you how parenting is different. There's a part where the kid is hanging over.
Oh, yeah.
The thing being like, Mommy, look at me. And the kids are like, haha, anyway.
And then he just falls.
I'm just like, CPS, call CPS. I mean,
now there's a giant curved fence. You can't do that.
Also, the powers in Superman, limitless.
Oh, how about when he pulls his S off of his thing and it's a giant sticker that curls up that one dude?
And then vanishes.
And how about then he teleports.
In part 1, he teleports. When did that happen? Also, wait. When did he also flew around the Earth backwards and rewound time.
Rewound time.
And to add that, he can also kiss someone
and they forget.
And remove all of their memories that he was Superman. It made
so many powers.
No, but back then they're like, he's Superman. He's Superman. He can do anything.
Did you watch the director's cut of 2, like with the one with like their audition scene spliced in there? Because it's phenomenal.
No.
You should have.
Well, that wasn't what was available on Paramount.
It's a totally different movie. They made the movie silly. They cut out key scenes and made the movie silly.
No, they brought in a new.
So
that
tone's
one
totally different.
I should watch that because there were scenes, and Joe was like, "Oh, this director kept adding jokes." Like, there's one where they're blowing the Terrence Stamp as Zod, which is so weird seeing the Terrence Zapp Zod and then the Flash head General Zod.
And then the Michael Shannon Zod.
Talk about different Zods. But they're blowing everyone away and everybody's falling. And there's a scene where a guy is in a telephone booth and the telephone booth is being, and he won't get off the phone.
He's like,
what? Hold on a second. I was like,
it's hilarious. The tone is so wild. Yeah. Or when he's like, a girl? I thought you said a curl. I was like, is that even a joke? It's like when they see her for the first time on the movie.
And also, Gene Hackman, let him be bald. He's bald, and then he's not bald, and then he keeps putting a wig. Oh, I'm wearing a wig. Stop it.
I will say, Ned Beatty as was I forget his name, but also what is it? Valerie Perrine is Miss Tessmacher. Miss Tessmacher, I love her.
Wasn't Parker Posey Miss Tessmacher in the remake?
Yes,
which is supposed to take place after part 2.
Oh, fuck that movie.
Anyway,
it took Cyclops out of X-Men 3.
I'm sorry. But then I decided to watch Batman.
Yeah, let's go there.
It's another one where Batman is an amazing movie. But I was rewatching it going, oh, wow, pacing is different in the 80s. It's a fucking slow burn. It's like a half an hour before you see Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. But it's still brilliant. Jack Nicholson is brilliant. Kim Basinger is also really good.
Yeah.
And then we have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, which I really think is fun. And then they progressively get more and more ridiculous as part 2 and part 3.
Part 2 is my favorite.
Part 2 is great too. Part 3 It's just makes
nonsense.
No sense.
It's a pish posh hodgepodge.
Literally, James Franco's character, Harry,
why are we doing it?
Decides, my dad was the serial. He's like, Spider-Man killed my dad. And then he realizes, Spider-Man killed my dad because he was the Green Goblin serial killer. You would think you would go, he killed him because he was a bad guy serial killer. No, he's like, I'm going to get in the Green Goblin outfit and then try to kill Spider-Man. And then he tries to...
That's where you took this?
And so then he tries to then... He tries to then fuck Mary Jane again. And then he kidnaps her and forces her to break up with him. It was like...
It's so weird.
So random. And then Topher Grace's Venom, which is so
my
strange.
God. How did that even happen? I guess they just wanted an anti-Toby.
And then Toby becomes emo.
Like a mirror.
When the Venom takes him over, he gets emo.
Oh my
and
God.
Whenever he has the suit on, he has the emo cut with the hair over his one
the
eye.
emo lesbian hair.
It is. That part I thought, I'm like, okay, this is kind of hilarious. There's dance numbers and stuff. I was like, this is out of control.
No, it's unhinged.
I will say this. I had to stop watching it because I thought it was so bad the first time it came out back in 2007. This time I watched it and I was like, I was kind of laughing. I was like, after watching Superman, this is brilliant.
I'll watch Spider-Man 3 anytime it's on.
But the thing that I remembered is that I grew up, as I said before, I grew up with the X-Men. The women were the powerhouses. And that's where and watching this, every movie was Kim Basinger getting in trouble and he had to save her. Or then it was Lois Lane getting in trouble. We have to save her. Mary Jane getting in trouble. We have to save her.
Gwen
These
Stacy.
Women were just fodder for these two, the villain and the hero, to fight.
That's the formula.
And it's so boring because the women are just sitting there screaming. It's so
getting themselves
stupid.
Into predicaments, doing things.
And in the new Marvel stuff, that's not really what's going on anymore.
No.
They kind of play around
damsels.
that. I mean, in a weird way, it was sure, Aquafina is a bit of a damsel because she doesn't have powers.
But she picks up a bow and arrow.
Exactly. It's like they kind of know how to write it now. But that's the thing is but back then in the 70s and 80s, reading the X-Men, no. The women were the leaders. The women were the most powerful X-Men was a woman. The best leader of the X-Men was a woman. The women were equals. And that's what I grew up with, and that's what I expected. So I find this, and just watching that was that's the formula. I hate it. I hate it.
Yep. You're enlightened. We're enlightened because we read the X-Men.
Exactly.
Oh, it's so stale to have I'll save you.
Yeah.
Everything I do is motivated by whether this woman lives or dies.
Because me, as a faggot who doesn't give a shit about women, no, I'm just kidding.
I don't give a shit.
No, I would fucking just put a bullet in the woman's head immediately. All right, now what?
Now what?
And then they'd be like, it's refrigeration. I guess this is the beginning of the movie where the woman is just killed.
Maria Hill can't be dead because then she would be refrigerated.
Yeah. I want to do a movie. Dead. I want to do a movie where all the women are killed in a refrigerator in the beginning, and just call it Refrigerated.
Just have it a guy opening all these different refrigerators with women he knows dead in them.
Yeah.
And then at the end he just goes, "I still don't care."
Yeah.
Credits.
Yeah.
What else? You want to just talk about Drag Race real quick? We have a top 2.
Not the top 2 okay. I wanted.
Who did you want?
Jessica Wilde, baby.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like Candy Muse.
Yeah, I do.
Candy Muse.
She's good. She shows up.
She's good TV, but I don't want her to win anything. She's a little annoying. Yeah. She's not my vibe.
We'll never hear the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very Bronx.
I like Jessica
You're not Bronx.
Wilde. Jessica Wilde.
She's so fun. I thought Jessica, it should come down to Candy and Jimbo, just from a track record, although Candy didn't do that great.
Jessica Wilde did
just one win.
Jessica Wilde did just as well as Candy Muse.
Jessica was in the bottom more.
Technically, but Candy sucks.
But Candy sucks. Can't argue with that. I don't think that.
Plus Jessica Wilde's improv in that
so funny
pound cake thing was one of the funniest things ever.
Candy's was so bad. Not improv. It was just nothing. Her improv in that was so funny. She likes the soft shells.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm rooting for Jimbo. I think it's clearly
come on, Jimbo.
It's gotta be Jimbo. So
it'll be Jimbo's the one who showed up this season. And again, RuPaul is trying to equate drag with clowning to help people swallow the pill. Oh, this world. That's it. That's it.
We solved America's problems.
We did. So Hellfire, I think we still have like a few weeks before the Hellfire Gala.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
We need to do, have they, maybe we should collect all the pictures of the outfits and maybe do a toot and boot.
Let's do that. Have you seen Dazzler's? Russell Dodderman's?
Amazing. Looks great.
Oh, what? Spoiler. That's a toot.
I love it.
I love it. Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
All right, everybody.
Thank you so much for listening. We're going to be all over the fall of X when it finally happens. In the meantime, we're just stumbling along. Until then, very excited about Secret Invasion. If you are too, then stay here for your in-depth analysis. And remember, if you read comics...
What?
Well, then that, my friends, makes you... queer. Bye.
Bye.